Welcome back to another video. I'm your Carlo from Magna Crypto, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Ethereum 2.0. Some very important updates and a release date has been announced as to when it's upgrading. Also, we're going to be breaking down the market as per usual. We'll be looking at a couple of altcoins. The market has unfortunately headed down somewhat, so we're going to be looking at as to what's happening, where the key levels are, and things of that nature. So let's not waste any time and get straight to it. Cue the intro. So let's get straight into the meat of the video, and that is Ethereum 2.0 release date. So the release date is August 4th as of this video. That's when they're expected to do it. And getting straight into the article, Ethereum's long-awaited London hard fork is likely to launch on August 4th. By the way, that's the name of the hard fork. I was a bit confused. I thought it was actually something to do with being in London. It's not the case. But that's on August 4th between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. UTC with block 12,965,000. Many Ethereum enthusiasts are excited for the delayed release, while some are watching with cautious optimism. And we'll be looking at the ETH chart to see what's happening there as well, because there could be a signal of a move to the upside. As a part of a roadmap designed to lead up to the release of Ethereum 2.0, which will replace Ethereum's current proof of work protocol with proof of stake, the London hard fork has been implemented into various testnets. After successful activation on the Ropsten and Goerli testnets, I probably said that wrong, the final hard fork release date has been decided. So, as this geezer said, unless someone objects in the next 24 hours, London should land on August 4th. So, very happy to hear that. And the two main protocols that will be included in the upgrade are EIP 1559, and that introduces a new fee structure to make Ethereum less inflationary. This protocol change is highly controversial because it aims to burn part of the fees, hence decreasing miner revenue. EIP 3554 delays Ethereum's difficulty bump to December 1st. This mechanism will incrementally increase the difficulty of mining on Ethereum's network, effectively freezing proof of work in preparation for Ethereum's move to proof of stake. So very, very exciting that we're moving closer and closer to Ethereum 2.0, and there's finally a release date. Now, that is the main article by far. I searched across the news, and the rest is related to price. So let's have a quick look at Ethereum 2.0. I mean Ethereum, not 2.0 just yet. And if you actually zoom out and look at the weekly time frame, at the moment you've got some lower highs and some lower lows, which looks like it's forming a bit of a descending wedge formation, which could be a bullish indication, because a rising wedge is normally a bearish, but a descending wedge is normally bullish. If this continues, firstly, because this is only 2 touches on either side, which is okay, but preferably we'd want 3 touches on either side. But if we have more touches and it does continue to follow this structure, then we may get a break to the upside, and we may then get an attack of this level of 2700. So and also the lead up to a massive event normally does lead to price increasing in anticipation of that event, and normally on the day or around that time, price might just drop. So this is very, very interesting what's happening with Ethereum right now. If we look at the daily time frame, it's not as clear that it's a descending wedge. It looks a lot more clearer on the weekly, but you can see whether you could call it a descending wedge or perhaps a descending channel. You can see the general trend is to the downside. It almost broke out in the last couple of days, but again it sold off and continued to drop to the downside. So let's see, this could be bullish for Ethereum. It should be, you know, the massive upgrade to 2.0. But moving over to Bitcoin, which it just doesn't want to get above 34,000. Now it held 34,000 last week and closed, but this candle right here is one of those indecisive ones that tends to continue the prior move. And before, obviously, there was a lot of selling going on. Here there was a bit of buying pressure, but there's also a decent amount of selling pressure. So it wasn't able to hold, it wasn't able to pick up enough liquidity, and now it's dropped to the downside for this week. And now we need to pray that it holds 32,000, because you can see this is the last major support on the weekly time frame. But it may, if it doesn't hold, it might, you know, lead to some massive downside action. And I highlighted you know, the previous all-time high of 19,000 as I mean, this is worst case scenario, but if we look at it on the line chart, you can see this is the only place really there was any kind of support or resistance on the weekly time frame. So it's possible, you know. We've got to consider it as a possibility, but just pray that it doesn't happen. Also, the fact that on the monthly we're below the 8-month EMA, which, you know, when comparing with because we have compared it to the previous bull run in 2013, the fact that we were not above, we were not below this level at this point, again, is a bit concerning. So there's as I mentioned in the previous video when I covered Bitcoin's monthly time frame, there's a couple of bearish signs, you know, so we got to prepare mentally for some potential downside action. And the other thing is the 21-month EMA also could be support, which goes in line with the previous all-time high being around the area. So we could see some downside action. We've got to be ready. The good thing, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel, the bit of hope that we need is, whether it's in the next few months or whether it takes a bit longer, crypto is going to prevail. It's the currency of the future. So we've got to be a little bit more patient, perhaps. Now let's have a look at some altcoins. We got Atom here. I mean, for the last week, I would say alts have been rallying very strongly, as mentioned with singularitynet, Alpha Finance, Perpetual Protocol, which I mentioned in the last video. Massive, like 35-40% gains. So altcoins have been doing very well. So naturally, when there's a bit of retracement, they're gonna lose a lot of value as well. So Atom, Cosmos, this week there was a lot of selling going on, and this is definitely a bearish indication. Hopefully it's gonna hold at around $11 where it is right now. Otherwise it will drop below this and definitely use this as support, the $10 area, and if that doesn't hold, then it will drop further down to the next major level, which is $8. This is a very, very strong level, and most likely will hold if it drops further. This is also, if you look at the pattern, it's looking like a descending channel, similar to the descending wedge. If it breaks to the upside, then this could be very bullish, you know. So we got to see, be patient. But this is clearly looking like a massively steep move to the downside. But again, as I said with Ethereum is looking like potentially it could break to the upside, because these moves, if they break the upper trend line, can really rocket to the upside, and potentially $15 could be the target. So we got to see. But at the same time, if it tests a lower trend line right here, then we could maybe see 9 or even the lower key level of $8 and some change. So let's be patient with that one. Ocean Protocol, similar situation. If you look at it from the line graph, you've got a descending pattern happening, a descending wedge with these lower highs and lower lows. So potentially it could be leading, maybe the altcoins could be leading to some kind of breakout to the upside if this continues, and if it's able to break the upper trend line. So targets for Ocean Protocol could be around 49.50 cents. If it's able to break that level, then we could go higher towards 57, towards 65 cents. But at the same time, it is concerning that it's broken back into this area right here, the consolidation area of 50 cent and 30 cent, which it was at for a very long time. So let's see, let's be patient. Altcoins could be turning around. I have faith, especially with a retracement of this nature. You know, as I mentioned in the last video, 83%. I don't think it's gonna retrace too much more, but let's see. And then we've got the trend line as well, holding for support. Lastly, I'll mention SingularityNet. Reason being is because it was very bullish for the last 2 weeks, and as I mentioned, let's go over to the daily. The key levels have been met perfectly. Even the upper level of $26, that would have been a good 26 cents. Sorry, that would have been a good time to take some profits. If it was able to hold this level right here of 21 cents, then we could have expected some more consolidation in this area. But the fact that it sold off, many people took profits, and now it's caused a lot of selling pressure. It's probably going to move back into this area between 18 cents and 21 cents. So we could probably expect, unless the EMA here holds, we could expect AGIX to revisit 18 cents and then maybe build up a move to move back to the upside. So naturally, when you have a massive move like this, all the way from 16 cents to 26 cents, that's a 62% move, you're going to have some retracement. So that's natural. Maybe if we use it Fibonacci right here, we can see right here. So it's respecting the 50% or the 0.5 level. If that can hold, as I said, which coincides with the EMA, we could perhaps see another attack of this level, of these levels, 23, 25, and 26. So let's see if this holds. If it does, then we can see some further upside. If it doesn't, then definitely we will see 17 to 18 being touched once again. So that'll be all for this video. I'm going to keep it nice and short, as I like to do, not too much information, because that confuses the brain, confuses the membrane. Let's keep it nice, short and concise. Obviously the main thing right now is Ethereum 2.0. As I said, the lead up to these events could normally leads to an increase in price, and the altcoin markets deceivingly look like a lot of descending wedge, a lot of descending channel kind of patterns, and these can be somewhat bullish if the upper trend line breaks and is able to move to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that, because it could lead to an unexpected altcoin market. And obviously when Ethereum rallies, the altcoins rally as well, as we saw in the last week. Also, Bitcoin unfortunately was not able to break the 34.8k level, got rejected again, and it's now back at 32k. So if that is the case, if it doesn't hold, then we may see a massive drop down to the 20s, lower than 29, 28 perhaps. But we've got to keep the long term in mind. Crypto is the currency of the future. So regardless if it's in the next few months or the next 12 months, it's going to go back to previous levels and beyond. Not financial advice, of course. So we'll end it there. See you in the next video. Peace.